Examines the program and the allegations.
You're not really getting off your butt and saying, I'm not going to be a failure anymore. I want to have a better life!
Desperate children in desperate situations, desperately in need of help.
Okay, so I did screw up, and it's not as bad as it sounds.
For 18 years, thousands of teenagers have come to Straight or been forced there by parents. The rehab program is a last resort for kids drowning in a downward spiral of alcoholism or drug abuse.
It saved my life. It showed me a life that I never knew would be available to me.
For Michelle Black, the intense discipline, the berating and belittling, and the rebuilding was exactly what she needed. She says she's been clean for 4 years, but the state wants to shut this program down, believing that what Straight calls treatment and discipline is too often child abuse.
There were people yelling at me, spitting at me while they were yelling at me. They're telling me I'm nothing, I'm just a low-life drug addict.
Maybe the program does work for some people, you know? Maybe it depends, you know? But from the time I was there and what I had seen, you know, the program does it. It works on fear and pain.
Scott Nealon knew the pain of his drug abuse, but he never expected the physical pain he says was inflicted at Straight. He went to the hospital 5 times in the 5 months he was there. One incident started after he had been sitting at attention for 6 hours at a rap session, and he began to slouch.
Were you just slouching disrespectfully?
No, I was sitting back in my chair a little bit. You know, I wasn't sitting up straight. I was sitting back a little bit in my chair. You know, and you can't do that. That's one thing you can't do in Straight, you know. And so they decided to sit me up. I was like, you know, I can't sit up.
And when he refused, he was restrained not by professionals, but by his teenage peers, in the presence of and at the direction of Straight staff.
One of the kids restrained my knee the opposite way, so it was bent up, and one of the kids nailed on it, so it just kind of ripped, you know, so I had a brace on for about 2 weeks.
And to make matters worse, Scott's mother says she was not informed and not even allowed to ask about her son's injuries.
I'd see him with, you know, his hand taped up or a knee brace or crutches, not know and not have the right to ask what happened to my son.
You couldn't ask him what happened to your hand?
No, you'd have to fill out a chain of command, and if they felt like answering it, they did, but on several occasions I never got any response.
The Nealons never filed a formal complaint, but others did. And the state investigated and determined on 7 separate occasions that improper physical restraints amounted to child abuse. And last week, the Office for Children decided not to renew the program's license, citing abuse, strip searches, and a dangerous environment for the children at Straight.
Kids trying to hurt themselves, slashing their wrists because they found the program so hard to cope with. And those sorts of things, along with the fact that children who are at the program have no contact with their parents, where they can tell their parents, gee, something's going wrong here.
The Office for Children's indictment is a blow to a program that used the visit from Princess Diana and Nancy Reagan to gain national exposure. But the Florida-based program has faced controversy before, accusations of abuse in California, Virginia, Ohio, and Texas.
Straight has been ridiculed and put on the firing line for things that are being said by people that have left the program disgruntledly. Straight has never professed to be a perfect program or for everybody, but Straight does work, and our success rate proves that.
What makes you think that alcoholism is a disease? And 2, what makes you think that you have it?
Straight claims a success rate of 70%, and a rap session we viewed was less combative than former clients described.
There are no current allegations. These allegations that the Office for Children continually bring up are old things and have not been on the table of any conversation or negotiations in the last year and a half.
But a 16-year-old who's been at Straight for 25 months says violent restraint by teenagers, non-professionals, continued at the program until last May, incidents that were never reported to state officials.
So they'd be, you know, restrained. It'd be like 6 or 7 kids at a time, sometimes more, and half the group would be restraining the other half of the group pretty much, and that's just the way it was, and it was a sad, violent time.
The state has been investigating Straight for 3 years, and while officials acknowledge some progress, they fear not enough has been done to ensure the safety of children.
We're afraid that children will get hurt in the program. We're afraid that children's rights are being abridged by the program. And we're afraid that while there's some good things about the program, that the dangers outweigh the positive aspects of it.
Hands down.
For Checkpoint, I'm Jorge Quiroga.
Straight says it has every intention of appealing that license revocation. A final decision on the fate of the program could take several more weeks.
Still to come.